Hello everyone, today we're gonna be working on a Galaxy 6. This Galaxy 6 has a broken glass and everything else is working. So now what we are gonna show you in this video is how to open the phone, how to get to the logic, remove all logic, screws, everything inside, and then we're gonna show you how to see if we can make the whole repair through this video. So let's shut this one down and start working on it right away. First things first, we're gonna be popping up the SIM card tray before we forget. SIM card tray, move to the side, hot plate ready. I'm gonna put it here for a few minutes. Alright, a few minutes passes already. The phone is hot to the touch, so we're gonna this is so hot. I'm gonna just keep it like that. Oh wow. That was so easy. I never have a phone to open this easier, but I guess, oops, great. I guess, and it seems to me like someone already opened this phone. Normally the tape that it has on the side has to be like this one over here, and it's supposed to be covering those the screws, which I don't see it, and this is more like the double side tape that we use after replacing the original one. So I'll say someone already opened this phone. Yeah, it didn't supposed to be this easy, but you never know what you're gonna be expecting once you open this phone. So it was so easy, it was good. Now what we're gonna be doing, we're gonna be removing all the screws. Yeah, I can tell right here, this screw is telling me, so it's been removed. This one too, so this one over here, pretty much you can tell right away when the screw is already been stripped already. So let's remove the screens, the screws, in order to remove the screen. I'm gonna try to get to the glass removal on this part of the video. I don't want to make it into two different parts. I hope it doesn't go over 20, over 30 minutes. So here in this video we're gonna show you how to open this one apart, and hopefully how to remove the glass. Otherwise we're gonna be making another video for that. And I think I do have a video on how to remove the glass only on this phone, but I think it's in Spanish. You're watching this video because you are going to be removing your glass. Please do it on your own risk. This is the first time you want to be really careful, because if you break this screen, your repair is gonna turn on into much expensive repair, because you have to buy the LCD screen, which is not cheap. It's gonna cost you at least a couple $100. here. There's one more screw. Well, no. All right. So now we're gonna be pushing the screen out. Okay. So we're gonna be pushing this out slowly and careful. What we're gonna be doing is try to create a little gap in between the frame and the LCD, so that way we can put something like this. You don't want to pry it up like so hard or put so much pressure on this screen, because they're so sensitive and you can break them easily. We don't want to do that. So as you can see now, here, this is the part that is gonna be kind of tricky, because you have to kind of pry it up at the same time. This is the most over here is the most delicate part. You don't want to put too much pressure on it, otherwise you break the screen. And you just want to work this one around. Right here, you see how this is now. We're gonna work the other side. Want to be really careful with the logic. Sometimes the logic they start pulling apart from the LCD, which you don't want to. Right here, oh, I think this one is coming apart from the mid frame. There we go. It's just a little bit of glue that is holding this. Nice. Okay. So now we're gonna be open the phone in this way, because we have the charging port connector down in the bottom. We don't want to break it. And here we have the frame out. Next thing is to remove battery connector. And proximity sensor connector and ear speaker. LCD and touch. Finger scan. Antennas. You don't have to worry about the front camera, just can leave it the way it is. Now you're gonna pry this one up, lift it up, and pry this connector, which is the connector for the battery, for the buttons and for the charging port. Let's put this one on the side. Nice. Now this is what we're gonna be doing. We're gonna be working on the plate. I'm gonna lower the temperature a little bit on my plate so that way I can remove the battery. And I'm gonna be using some heat for this. This is also how it's gonna show you how to remove the battery. And for that, we don't wanna hit the phone so much because it's the screen, and the screen is really delicate to the temperature. You can work certain temperatures, but if you exceed that temperature or time, that can create a problem on your screen. So you don't wanna do that. There we go. We're gonna be using those prior tools, plastic tools. Okay, you don't want to go so way into this battery because there's a little bit of frame that is holding the battery in place. If you go beyond that part, you can break and damage your LCD, and you don't want to do that. I'm gonna heat it up a little. Okay. Now you will see what I was talking about. Here. You only can use a plastic tool, or if you're planning to use metal, which I don't recommend it, use something plastic or one of the playing cards in order to go and remove the battery. And don't go so way in, because once you start touching this part, this is the LCD, if you put any pressure on it, you're gonna break it for sure. So you don't want to do that. Okay, let's put the battery on the side. Now we're gonna remove the whole screen out. For that, it's a little more process, but I'll show you how to do it. I'm gonna use the heat again, and this is gonna be something that is gonna help us a lot. The heat is a key factor. Playing cards, and those are the ones that we're gonna be using. I also use some plastic tools. Oh, here's one. Not too much temperature. That should be good. This is what I'm gonna be doing. Right in between. Let me remove this out of the way. I don't need this, so let's get rid of it. This is what we're gonna do. Here, I'm gonna try to go in between the frame and the LCD. That's a process that we have to do in order to remove the glass. You can do it without removing this, but it's gonna be much work, and to me it sounds like more work, but at the same time it's much easier and less risky for me. Okay, let's see. I got something else that I want to use. It's a different plastic. It's not so thick. Put it on the heat again. Oops. Now I'm gonna start working with the playing cards. See how this will turn out. I start making or looking, seeing a little bit of separation in between that anytime. Here, there we go. I see it. It's coming out. Good. Now, that was the most difficult part of this repair, and to keep it going, we're just gonna be going right here on the edge. And again, when you feel this is kind of cooling down a little, you want to keep putting this in the plate, or use a heat gun or hair dryer, whatever. As long as you keep it cool, I mean hot, it's gonna help you a lot to do this process. Okay, so we close to the 20-minute video. We kind of want to speed up a little bit more the process without damaging the LCD. Great. So we have this for a little bit on the plate. You don't want to get too close to the connector because you can break it, especially if this is your first time doing this, working on this kind of screens. You don't want to do this process. You might want to take it to a professional one to do it, or at least someone who already has experience on those and do those kind of repairs. Right, so I'm gonna get the bottom part ready. Great. Whenever you feel like it's, it's giving you trouble passing the car or whatever tool you're working with, just put it on the heat. Heat it up, keep it hot in order to keep it going. That's gonna be the key. Okay, feels like it's not running anymore. Put it on the hot plate again. So once you get here, you don't want to pass beyond that part, because there is connectors here and here that you can break those flex connectors, cables, and then you need to replace the whole thing for sure. Great. So now, because I already have this going, I'm gonna put my tool right here. I'm gonna start cutting in between this, but we don't want to go so much in, because right over here we have the one of the buttons. This is the go back button, this is the Windows button, so you don't want to go so much way in and breaking it, otherwise you need to replace the charging port connector that it comes with all those buttons. Gonna heat it up for a little bit, and once we have this a little cooled down a little, we're gonna change the tool. We're gonna use this, and then slowly we're gonna be pushing this, and because it's kind of hot, I'm pretty sure it's gonna help me to wear this around. Here I can see that it is making a separation in between. I'm gonna be helping it with my playing card tool. So far I think we're going good. Long video, but that's fine as long as we can get the screen out without a problem. You can see how it's working out. Then I'll put it in a hot plate again. Alright, so we're gonna keep going around this. Right over here is the other button, so you just want to be really careful so don't break it. Alright, I think it's going. So here, once you get to the button, want to be really careful too, don't break it. Normally I go over the button, so that will be easier for me. It works for me. There we go. Nicely done. As you can see, now we need to work the upper part of the screen. Oops. And here, gonna be really careful. As I mentioned before, the connectors that we have down here are so sensitive. And now right here I can see a little gap that I can go in between. You don't want to pass beyond that because you're gonna be breaking the ribbon cable. I'm gonna put it on the heat again. Okay, so I'm gonna move it out of the way so that there you go. Up here are the most delicate connectors and ribbon cables that you want to be aware of. There we go. There you go. Here we move it out of the framing, the mid frame. And before we continue with the glass, we're gonna make sure this is still working. For that, we're gonna be using the logic board and the battery. Those are the two things that we're gonna be working with in order to test this. And let's turn it on. Good. As you see, it's working. Those two buttons shouldn't be working because they're attached to the mid frame, and this is only the glue that is holding the button in place. So it's not broken or anything like that. Alright, we're gonna put this on the side. We see everything is working. We're gonna get things ready so we can start making the separation of the glass. Good. So now I have to unplug this. Got pretty much everything ready for the glass separation. And before we start, I'm gonna preheat this and remove the heatsets around the screen. Let's see if I can just remove it the way it is, so I don't have to preheat it. This is gonna be garbage now. We don't need this adhesive, this tape. It's just gonna be on the way. We don't remove it. Nice. My screen is being preheated. Oh, it's hot. We're gonna be using the same tool, which is this little plastic pen. To kind of start the edge of this, because I'm gonna be using a wire to do this process. So I don't want to get into the this guy, which is the I forgot the name of it, the polarized film. Right, good, that should be good enough. Now I got this wire. Gonna make things a little easier. Got the wire going here. You can see it's in it. So I'm gonna put it on the plate. Get this ready for you guys to see. I'll put this over here for you guys. I'm gonna remove the film. All right, so here we go. If everything is moving smooth, it's good. But if for some reason you feel like it's getting stuck on some point, you might want to double check, because otherwise you might be going under the polarized film, and that will make your life so hard, because you have to remove that. It's not easy process, and then put it in as well. So I'm gonna make sure this is going in the right way, and at this moment I can feel like it's going in the right place. It's not getting stuck on the way, which is good. All right, getting close to the end.